Joburgtoday.tv regrets the wrongful publishing of content indicated as illegal on the 30th of September 2019. We sincerely apologize to ProVantage in this regard. It's been reported that the City of Johannesburg has estimated that around 90% of advertising signs within the city do not have the written or required approval of the city in terms of bylaws, therefore making them illegal. We sat down with the MMC of Economic Development, who has declared war on public illegal advertising.
It's both cosmetic as well as a serious issue. I mean, none of us want to be bombarded by advertising signs when we are trying to take a walk down our street or, on our way home. We want that peace and quiet. When we go out shopping, we go out shopping. But it's become a lot more volatile than that. I mean, now we have trailers that are being parked on intersections in violation of various rules and laws. And these have now become homes for people. They live in them, they use them for shading. They also become quite dangerous. They blow across the road during strong winds. A lot of the signage is also placed when they don't have the approvals. It's placed onto bridges, and as you know, a lot of our bridges aren't exactly in the best state. And they tend to not follow the proper engineering rules and the proper installations so that they are safe to consumers. And we've also had cases where pedestrian walkways are now being impeded. So pedestrians have to avoid the advertising, they have to walk in the road, which becomes another danger. In terms of our bylaws, we have a lot of signage that is exempt. So for example, if you're running a business, you can put up a certain size sign outside your place of business, and that is exempt. You actually don't need to get an approval for it. But there are also a lot of signs that are outlawed completely in terms of those bylaws. But what we're seeing here is that we will, see an installation or a mass installation of outdoor advertising, and the theory is, do it now and ask for forgiveness later instead of following the proper processes. And as I said earlier, I mean, there's a lot of dangers to this. Also, it kind of becomes anti-competitive when everybody doesn't, take each other into consideration when they're placing their advertising in front of somebody else's advertising. So there's a lot of different laws that are being broken into, including contractual laws, whereby where we have contracts with certain companies and now their rights are being infringed by illegal advertising. Well, you've got the numerous posters and signage that's put up on our stop streets, our traffic lights, which is illegal because you cannot actually see them. Digital advertising that flashes at intersections so the traffic light colours are not clear. We've instituted our 36-month transitional period because our current bylaws that we changed, so the 2017 bylaws, were challenged by various institutions in the industry, and they're currently suspended until we can get an outcome from the courts. Those bylaws allowed us to remove illegal advertising without a court order, which was one of the deficiencies we identified in our 2009 bylaws. But in the same breath, we also started giving a little bit of leeway, particularly to estate agents, giving them longer hours in the new bylaws. So we were being reasonable. Unfortunately, those are now suspended. So we're still operating under the old ones, but we have to issue contravention notices, get a court order in order to remove. So we're actually going to start reducing our sites. Let's say, for example, our street pole advertising. We're going to be halving the number, but a portion of that, let's say a third, will be reserved for smaller companies. And there will also be regulations in terms of the bigger companies bringing in SMMEs into the game. Outdoor advertising is very much monopolized by very, very big industry players and very few of them. So it's very difficult, particularly at the ratios and the amounts that you're working with, for smaller guys to come into the market and start succeeding.
I'm John Terode and you're watching Joburg Today.